I just want to let you know that if you are experiencing or recovering from narcissistic abuse, abandonment, manipulation, you're not alone. There's so many people that are experiencing this type of toxic relationship. And oftentimes the person that's grooming you will groom not only you, but your family, your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers. They will groom everyone in your circle. And so when you report the type of abuse that you're experiencing, and remember that can be mental, physical, spiritual, or financial abuse. When you report this type of abuse, they won't believe you. They won't believe you because the person that was grooming you also groomed everyone in your circle. And this is definitely, not by mistake. It starts out with making you feel like you're soulmates. Whatever you love, they love. Whatever you hate, they hate. Whatever you aspire to, want to do, or want to be, or want to have, what you aspire for yourself, for your family, they're going to say that me too, me too, me too. I aspire to these things. I want these things. I, don't like these things. And they do that to make you feel comfortable and safe and to give you a sense of we're in this together and a sense of a bond that's premature, that's not really there. And oftentimes when you think about people saying, oh my goodness, we're so much alike and you don't have any differences, this is kind of a red flag. During my research for my book, I saw that one of the psychiatrists in the field said the perfect first meeting is a red flag. And so not just a perfect first meeting with you and that individual, but the perfect first meeting with them and your family and your friends, because they're going to appear to just be in sync with everyone around them. The narc has no affinity to anyone or anything, and they're like shapeshifters. They will shift themselves into whatever situation, is advantageous for them to continue to take advantage. So when it comes to the love bombing, it will be mental, physical, spiritual, and financial. Okay, so they will play on your emotions, and they will also ask a lot of questions to figure out what is that gap in your life? What is that thing in your life that you want and that you need, or that's missing, or that thing that will enhance your life? And they're going to try to be that thing. Sometimes when people say, oh, what do you want in a man? Or it could be for a woman. What do you want in a man? And so they're asking you this so they can pretend to be that, maybe for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months before their true selves come out. And so that's what it looks like in the love bombing stage. And it's going to feel good. You're going to feel loved. You're going to feel wanted. You're going to feel supported. You're going to feel needed. And this is part of the grooming process, because it must feel good and you must feel comfortable. Because if someone came up to you and said, I'm going to abuse you, or came up to you and shook you, or did something, really offensive, they wouldn't be able to groom you, because now you see them, for who they are. And I want you to know that also when dealing with the narc, oftentimes people will say at the end, how did you put up with that? How did you not see that? How did you allow this person to come into your life? However, dealing with the narc is not like someone throwing a boulder through your window, right? And so if someone came in through a huge boulder through your bay window in your home, you would definitely notice that right away. And you would say that this is not something I want to be a part of. This person is toxic. This person doesn't mean me well. You would see it right away. But when it comes to the narc, they're not going to come and throw a big boulder. So you won't see any huge flags. You would see small red flags. And so instead of the boulder coming through your window, what you're going to find is like a tick, 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 like someone throwing a little pebble at your window. And every now and then you would hear this pebble and you would say, oh, that was odd. Some odd behavior, an odd request, an odd question, and so this tick, tick, tick at your window is going to become kind of like white noise in the background, right? And so, the white noise, it comes and it goes, and you say, oh, that was odd, and it went away. And so they'll do things that's out of joint, is disjointed with what they're saying or who they say they are, but then it will go away. And this is the test. And I was always failing the test. I was failing the test because when something would be out of whack, I would speak about it. I would say something. I would ask questions. So now I'm causing agitation and irritation, right? And so they don't want you to do that. They want to kind of test your boundaries all the time. And so when they test the boundaries in a small way and can get away with it, they're always trying to figure out how much they can get away with, where your boundaries are. And then they may pull back and then come and test the boundaries again. That's the tick, tick, tick. It could be demeaning. It could be belittling. It could be disappearing acts physically, or it could be disappearing acts physically, or even emotionally. And they're just kind of always testing the boundaries. So when they have when they're testing your boundaries, this is a part of the love bombing stage. And so they will test all sorts of boundaries. One of the ladies in my book, she explained how her ex-husband initially tested the boundaries with, there came a time when he was looking at other women. And she was asking him, like, why are you always looking at other women? He turns it on her. Well, if you would dye your hair this color, it started with that. Next thing you know, it's her clothing, it's her weight, it's different things that she's doing in the home. If you would do these things, making it her fault, I would not be looking at these women over here. And so he did kind of, groom her into changing a lot of her things about herself and her behavior and things she's doing in an effort to try to please him, not understanding that she was being groomed. Right? And so this grooming process that she went through continued to expand from her clothing and her hair to, their bedroom activities. It expanded into how she dealt with her family and her friends and her parents. And he was constantly pushing and testing her boundaries until at one point towards the end of their marriage, he was introducing other people into the marriage, and she was, to her objection. But by this time, he had put her in so many different compromising situations that he was able to kind of blackmail her into going along with these other things. And so oftentimes when people say, how did you allow this? They don't understand the grooming process is not a boulder through your window. It's a tick, 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 little pebbles thrown at your window that you often dismiss as some odd behavior, having a bad day, some kind of quirk that, was kind of out of place. And so that's how, you might experience the grooming process.